All right, what's going on, YouTube? It's Donnie B all day. Why do I do this all the time? I'm always shaking my head. I'm going to end up with a freaking tumor. So, here's the thing. Here's what I'm bringing you today. I'm bringing you something cool, man. I'm bringing you a blade. It's called a Uncle Henry. What are the letters for it? LB7, right? The Uncle Henry LB7. There it is. And Uncle Henry is basically a Schrade line because back in 1946, that's when Henry Bear and his brother went and bought out the Schrade company, who, you know, they were making knives. They were the largest knife makers in America back in the olden days. And so when Schrade started tanking, they went over and bought the company, and that's why we have Uncle Henry. The thing is, before, Schrade was, all their knives were made in 1095 high carbon and everything. Like, if you have an old timer, it's probably amazing. Nowadays, everything's made in stainless steel. But is it a bad thing? Not always necessarily. Sometimes you can get a good one. And I have some stats on the knife I'm holding right now. So the manufacturer, Schrade, right? That's who the manufacturer, even though just because it says Uncle Henry is the line of the knives, but that's it. So Schrade, the line is Uncle Henry, the model is the LB7. I should probably be showing you this instead of this. It is a lockback folding hunting knife. It weighs 8.2 ounces. It is a closed 5 inches. The handle material is wood. And they also use that imitation material. It's called Staglon. This is the wooden one. The blade is stainless steel. And I thought that was... Let me look. I thought their stainless was... I can't find it. But I thought it was like 7CR something. Is what I thought it was. Oh, 7CR17. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if that's what this is. All right, that's what it is. I knew it. I just had to look. A little bit of research helps out sometimes. So this isn't the 440 variety of stainless steel. This is the 7CR17. That's exactly what this steel is. So let's get back into the thing. Sometimes my mind starts popping and I lose track here. All right, so blade tape, plain edge, hollow grind, clip point, blade thickness 0.119, blade length 3 3/4, sheath included, yada yada yada. So that's what we are looking at right about here. So now in the 1960s, it was Buck who started the whole hunting folding hunter, they called it. And it wasn't a lockback, it was like a back lock is what they called it. But here you see the Buck 110. This is the one that started it all for this style of knives. Pretty damn similar, right? I mean, just about anybody who's anybody copies this model, because as far as folding knives are concerned, this is, I believe, the top #1 copied lockback of all time. It is just a design that has lasted for a very long time. Think about it. It was the 60s they came out with these, and then the 70s Case came out with that Shark series, and they started doing the hammerheads and the Makos and all that. And eventually all these other companies start going, and bam, we end up with one of these. And I think this was like 2004 is when they started doing this, somewhere in there, with Uncle Henry. So that's what we have. It's actually a very good looking knife. And why is it a good looking knife? Because it looks like the original. So is it a sharp, good looking knife? That's what we want to know. And yes, it's a sharp, good looking knife. And I'm trying to see if I can't collect. Oh yeah, you can see a lot. I think I went a little overboard on the shaving. So a little too much, but you know, it was working so well, why not go for it? So that's what we have here. we have a very sharp, very capable lockback in the exact same styling as the Buck 110. Is it different in any ways? Yeah, it's different in a couple ways. But that's not what we're getting into right now, because eventually what we will be... Oh, before I do that, let's get into this guy right here. It's a leather sheath. It's a stiff leather. It's not the nicest leather sheath, but I have to admit it is far better than the one that Buck is putting out nowadays. Buck back in the day used to make a nice leather sheath, a nice soft leather sheath. And while that's nice and while this is okay, I still say that the case makes the best leather sheath for these. This is still doable though. It works. It works. You're going to get more cracking with that. And speaking of, let's I just want to show you, because we're going to end up doing we're going to do a battle, like a face off between all these. And I just want to show you a few of the ones that I have. And this one is the Okoe River. It's a Frost Cutlery brand. Blue pick bone handle. I know the blade looks rough, but sorry, I use them, guys. I use these knives. So you can see that that's actually a really, really pretty blade. Okoe River is what that is. And it's just nice. Is that upside down? Or no, that was right side. I don't know. I don't freaking know. I wasn't looking hard enough. So you have that one. We're going to battle that. We're going to do a modern version with the K-bar, right? It's got a pocket clip. It's got a thumb stud. It's got different materials. Got some G10. Very nice. So we have that one that we're going to do a battle with. We're going to add a older version of the Buck 110. This one's an older version that I turned into a drop point. Y'all seen that. So we have that going in. And let's see. Let's see what else we have. Let me put that one back in the sheath. We have the Buck 110 that I just showed you, the modern one. We have the Case Hammerhead. Beautiful, beautiful knife. And we have the Case's little brother, the Mako. Boom, beautiful, beautiful little knife, right? So all those, and they're all the same style, all the same but different, right? And they're all off the 110, just like this one is, all off the 110. But this one right here, we're going to find out if it stacks up so far with all these other guys that I have here. And then at some point during the week, we're going to go ahead and find out which one's best and why, and how they all stack up against each other. But we don't know if we don't first test this one. So I say we get out there and we see what this little knife can do. Come on with me. All right, it is a windy day today, so hopefully when the wind blows, y'all can still hear me. We're going to do a nylon rope cut here. Just a simple push cut, and simply done. Cut very, very well. Let's take some hard vacuum cleaner hose I got laying around here. Ooh, I just put the tip in there and it just dug in. And I mean, easily takes care of the vacuum cleaner hose. So, let's do this. Let's take a nice big fat piece of wood here, and let's see if we can't clobber down on this guy. Now, the problem with lockbacks like this that aren't the triad lock from Cold Steel is a lot of times if you are banging on one and doing something like what I'm doing, and you're trying to baton, a lot of times the lock will disengage, but it comes right back. So far this one hasn't done it. We'll see. And it did not. And I have to say, of all of the folding hunters that I've done, every single one of them on batoning has disengaged during batoning. This is the first one that didn't. I know I do have a very tiny hint of play in this blade, but it's a very little hint of play. But let's see, a little baton. I mean, a little bit of torquing this thing over, a little pry action. and no bending the tip, not so bad. Let's give it a 4-foot drop. See where the weight is. Not so bad. It's where it should be. It's in the rear. Let's do that again. Not so bad. A couple hard downward throws, and we'll see if anything else loosens up or if it gets worse. Oh, Nelly. Well, it didn't break, so that's a good thing. Oh, that has got some serious bite. Now, I don't know if you can see this. Let me hold this grounded. That's how much loosening there is. It's like a little bit of loosening in the pin, but nothing detrimental. And I'm thinking it's probably coming from here. So I'm wondering if just putting some cloth around it, hitting in the vise, tightening up will cure that. But as far as everything else, the scales, the pins, everything held on fine. It does have brass liners going all the way through. It is an attractive knife. It looks like it's supposed to. You can see the brass frame right there. It's just a good looking knife, and brass is soft, right? It's just a soft material. So when you have a body that's completely made of brass, banging on it and batoning with it, which it's not made for, right? It's a hunting knife, not a camp knife, but it's good for camp needs. But you're bound to get some flexibility inside the brass. Let's see. Look at that. Look at that. So doing those short chops, just easy. Easy money. Let's see. Oh, that one just fell right off. I'll tell you what, though, they know how to put on an edge, that's for sure. They know how to put on an edge, because this thing is edged really nice. And I don't know if you can see entirely, but that's a whole lot. That's a whole lot of feathers in there. That's really nice. Cut them off now. It feathers really well, and a lot of that is due in part to just a great edge profile. It's done right. Man, it slipped right out of my hand. And done right. Oh wow, it takes off a big chunk. Done right is a good thing when you're talking about a folding hunter. I mean, because there's so many options out there. You know, doing it wrong means you are not going to battle with the best of them that are out there. So can I make my make this a carving knife? Can I make this a knife where, here comes the wind, where I'm going to be able to cut things up, make spear tips and like hot dog sticks, food sticks, and tent spikes and things like that, or even pit spikes for trapping game. Look at that. Look at that. I just took 2 slices off while this thing was dug in the wood. Let's see if we can't untip it. Absolutely. I pretty much missed and still got it. No problem there. The edge still looks great. The loosening has not changed at all. It hasn't gotten worse, hasn't gotten better. Obviously, it's not going to get better like that. But so I'm assuming that was probably there and I just didn't pay attention to it. So far, so good. This is a good little knife. It's exactly what it's supposed to be. It works exactly like it's supposed to work. Now, it's a hunting knife, so let's see if we can't find something hunted, right? Let's take a little walk. Let's take a little walk, me and you, and we'll talk about this pretty piece of steel. As far as how it feels in the hand, it's thinner in profile than the 110, so it's going to be better in the pocket if you weren't going to carry it in your belt sheath. But thinner means it's going to be not as tough in the body, which means that's why I got the loosening, right? So it's give and take on that. Let's see. Plastic sports cone. Oh, right there. Look at that. Look at that. Not too bad. Not too well. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. This is what I was looking for. I was looking for an animal pelt. And luckily, I found one, an old soccer ball. So let's see. we're talking about hunting, it has to be able to do exactly what it just did. Oh my gosh, I just pretty much halved this leather ball, and it went right through the rubber bladder. No problem. I mean, no problem. Let's see, I got the dogs looking pretty antsy out there. I can just tell Roscoe's got that look like he wants to go somewhere. Oh, he found something in the yard to eat. That's what he's doing. He's looking guilty. He's looking guilty. Hey, look at that. A stump that this thing shouldn't be thrown at. Oh, well, it actually stuck in. I hit the bottom and it stuck. So all the 110 variant knives, they all throw pretty much the same. I find that holding it by the blade at about 3 to 4 yards, they fly true every time. What are you eating over here? Look at that guilty face. Oh, look at the guilty face. What are you doing? He's got something in his mouth. He doesn't want to tell me. Look at, hey, where are you going? Where are you going? Look at the other one sniffing his mouth because he knows something. Hey, look at it right here. Look at it right here. And tell these people that you're eating something you're not supposed to eat. Tell them. Oh, look, he's trying to apologize. This is how he apologizes. He touches his nose to me. That's an apology. All right. Go ahead, eat what you're going to eat. So, here we are. The LB7 by Uncle Henry. By Schrade, but it's an Uncle Henry. It's cheap enough to where it's definitely going to give you the value for the knife. The edge, the overall construction. Did I have a little loosening? Yeah, but who cares? You know what I mean? You're going to get that in a lot of these knives. And if it really came down to it, I could send it back. They would tighten it up. No problem. What they'd most likely do is just send a new one, because that's what a lot of companies do these days. Instead of fixing them, they just say, yeah, we'll just replace it. But it's a short video because, you know, it is what it is. It's a little hunting knife. And the main thing is, can it cut? Can it skin? And doing what we did shows that it can do both of those. And for a knife like this, that's all you need it to do, right? Does that mean I can't put it in my hand and pop, pop, pop an attacker? Yeah, good thing I wear flip-flops. Absolutely. Absolutely, I could use it for that. But as an everyday carry knife, this thing is exactly what an EDC should be, could be, would be, will be, and is. It's just a very, very good little knife. And how does it compare to the 110? We'll see. I'm not telling you yet, but we'll find out. We're gonna do a pretty good battle between the folding hunters, and we will see exactly. And when I say battle, I mean we're gonna feel them and say, okay, which one's better, and we're gonna go over some footage and see how each performed. And I can tell you right away, they pretty much performed all equally. It's gonna come down to construction and feel, really. But here it is, the LB7 from Schrade, Uncle Henry. Uncle Henry, right? That's it. And that's it for me. I'm Donnie B all day. Until next knife.